Okay, here's how you're gonna swap out the spindle on your spinner. First thing you need to do is take this collar off right here. It's gonna require an Allen wrench. I can send the right size wrenches with the replacement parts. Yours might just have one screw instead of the two, and that should just slide off. And the next thing you need to do is there are two set screws, one here and one over here. You need to loosen those. And then there's two more underneath right here and here, and you might need to turn this to be able to access those set screws. You want to loosen this. Then again, this one here. Now you also need to loosen this set screw here. This is a two-piece coupling. You just need to loosen the top one. And this one you want to back off probably 2 full turns. Now everything should be loose, and with any luck this should just pull straight up. It might take a little bit of force though, because the set screws kind of leave a little burr when they're tightened down on the shaft. But hopefully you can get this out without too much effort. So there's the spindle, and this part down here, this coupler, is not attached to anything now, but it's just sitting in place. But you want to leave that there and just slide your new, call this your new spindle. This is the new one I made for you. So this wants to slide down, just same thing you did but in reverse. And then when you get down, actually let me turn my light on. When you get down to this point here, you might need to make sure that this coupler is lined up. If you're having any trouble, you can see there where the spindle is coming through the bottom of the lower bearing. If it stops right around here, then you might need to just make sure that this coupling is lined up. But it should be pretty well lined up since you just pulled the old one out. Now we'll just need to push this all the way down. If you need to tap it with a piece of wood or a mallet or something, you can do that, but don't get too crazy with it. If it's taking too much force, then there's probably something not lining up right. And then when you go to attach this coupler at the bottom, the one thing you need to do, it's probably a good idea to pull this set screw all the way out. And then you want to turn this spindle until you see there's a flat in here. So you'll see it when you get to that flat, and that's where the set screw wants to go. So you tighten that in place. And you want to wrench that down pretty tight once everything's done. Make sure that this is sitting flush on the face of this bearing here. You don't want a gap between this shoulder and the face of this bearing. But basically you just need to tighten this set screw, the one right here, and the other one right here, and then the two on the top. Go through and tighten all of these. I'm not going to tighten them real tight right now because I don't want to put a burr on the shaft before you install it on yours. Anyway, if you tighten all these down, then you're going to put this collar back on. Like I said, yours might just, it might not be split all the way across. It might just be on one side. And then you just want to retighten this guy. Now you probably noticed this has a step right here. And the reason for that is the aluminum plate that you have already has a cutout for this larger size shaft. So with that plate in place, you have the small shaft that'll fit in your hat blocks, but this still fits the aluminum plate. And I'm sending you a new adapter plate here that I added a spacer to the bottom of, so the height will be right still. So this will drop on in place here, and that'll make it where it's your blocks will be sitting flat on here on this smaller shaft, but it's still driven by the same size cutout as the aluminum plate that you have. So anyway, I hope that's all straightforward enough. If you have any issues, if it's really difficult to pull this out after everything's loosened, you can, there's a couple different things you could do. You can pry on a couple spots, but maybe just try to pull it out by hand first. Basically, you just don't want to damage anything swapping it out, but it should be pretty easy. But give it a try, and let me know if you have any issues, and I can try to walk you through it. And that should be it for now.